Hello, Elliot. It's, Paige.
Paige, that's so nice of you to call.
My, you're working late tonight.
The news never stops, only the people who report it. Actually, I was thinking of quitting early tonight.
Are you?
It's funny you should call just now. You this minute must be ESP.
Yes, it must. I tried calling the apartment, but when I didn't get an answer, I thought you'd still be at KVIK.
Yeah, I'm putting the finishing touches on tonight's news.
Well, I won't take any more of your time. I know you're very busy.
I'm never... You know that? What can I do for you?
Well, I was just wondering if you might be free tonight. I'd like very much to see you.
Have you talked to the head of the accounting department tonight?
No, not yet.
But you are going to do it tonight, right?
I said I would, Ryan, and I will.
Hey, why are you in such a bad mood?
I'm sorry. I had another one of those terrible conversations with Iris.
About Dennis?
Yes. He's guaranteed his support. They're going to call that meeting next week and vote you out of World Oil.
Well, I have some new information that I think is going to put a stop to that.
What is it?
Paige Carrington told me that she thinks that Peter Parnell was with Alex the night he had his first stroke.
What makes her think that?
She saw him coming out of Alex's office that night. Now, Parnell said that Alex was fine.
But she doesn't believe it.
That's right.
Well, why didn't she tell somebody?
Well, she didn't think it was important.
Do you suppose that Alex and Parnell were talking about the misappropriation of funds?
Absolutely.
So, Alex confronted him.
Uh-huh.
They argued probably, and then Alex had his stroke.
And then Alex regained his speech and motor responses. You know what I think?
What?
I think Parnell murdered Alex.
Well, I'd love to come by for dinner.
Well, I wasn't sure if you'd made other plans or not.
If I had, I would have canceled.
Well, good. I'm glad you can come by. Oh, someone's at the door, Elliot. I better go.
Well, what time should I come over?
Anytime you like, I'll be here.
Well, I would come now, but there are a couple of things I ought to do tonight before I leave.
Okay.
Shouldn't take more than a half an hour.
Good. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Hello, Mrs. Carrington.
Hi, Nita. Glad you could come by.
Oh, it's no problem. Maggie's taking care of my baby.
Good. Come on in.
You wanted to talk to me?
Yes, I did.
Do you really think that Parnell killed Alex?
That's right, I do.
Well, in theory, it's logical. He had motive. But how do we prove it?
Aha. Well, I haven't figured that one out yet.
Did you talk with Parnell this afternoon?
Mm-hmm.
Was he suspicious of anything that you said?
I don't know. I don't think I asked him any questions that would make him suspicious.
How did he react?
Well, he seemed a little nervous when I asked him questions about his past, but I really can't tell what he was thinking. I'm going to call Parnell right now and ask him to come over.
Why? What for?
I want to confront him with the information that Paige gave me.
You're taking an awful chance, Ryan.
Well, at this point, what have I got to lose?
Of course, the idea of working in a boutique like I've described may not even appeal to you, Nita.
Oh, no, it does. It does.
And of course, I'd understand if you were hesitant because of the baby or...
No, that's not it at all. I could always get a babysitter, and Maggie would just love to take care of him from time to time. You're talking like... about one of those places like the shops down in the Galleria, aren't you?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, boy. I mean, I've walked through there a couple of times. I've always wanted to go into one of those shops, but I never have.
Why didn't you?
I don't know. I knew I couldn't afford it, so I thought, why tempt myself? Some of the things they have in those shops, they cost a fortune.
Well, yes, they are very expensive, but what they sell is the very best.
Oh, you can tell that. And all the ladies that go in there are always dressed in, well, in the highest fashion. With their chauffeurs and their limousines waiting out front.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's like something out of a dream.
But it isn't a dream, Nita. It's business.
Yes, of course, you're right.
And it can be a very lucrative business if it's worked right. That's why I need somebody working with me that I can really depend on.
What made you think of me?
Well, to tell you the truth, I really didn't think of you out of the blue.
What do you mean?
Billy Joe recommended you. Now, Nita,
Oh.
I know that you've asked Billy Joe for a divorce. But I don't see how that would have to affect anything we worked out together.
No, I guess not.
Does it bother you?
Yeah. I don't see why Billy Joe would recommend me to you.
Well, to tell you the truth, it was Billy Joe's idea to open up the boutique in the first place.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. I told him I couldn't do it myself, that I needed a kind of a girl Friday, somebody that would help me organize things, help me keep things running smoothly.
And he mentioned me.
Uh-huh. He said you'd be perfect. It does bother you.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Sorry I didn't have these ready for you this afternoon.
That's all right. I don't keep 9 to 5 hours.
Yeah, I haven't been doing that either lately.
Well, glad the paperwork is out of the way now.
Okay, our office in Galveston will get in touch with Jim Lawrence about the delivery date, all right?
That's fine. Thank you. Mm-hmm. It was very nice meeting you.
Well, it was nice meeting you.
I admired your brother Alex very much.
Were you good friends?
Well, not as good as my partner, Jim Lawrence, was.
Well, you didn't care enough about him to call for an ambulance when he had his stroke now, did you?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about your being with Alex in his office the night he had his first stroke.
I think you must have made some kind of mistake.
No, I haven't. I know you were there. Tell me, what happened that night?
Well, Alex and I discussed some business. It took about 10 minutes. Then I said goodbye and left.
Did you argue with him?
No. It was a very pleasant conversation. He was in perfect health when I left.
You sure about that?
Well, of course. If he had been ill, I would have called someone. Look, if you're accusing me of having caused Alex Wheeler's stroke...
I understand you were the last person to see Alex. I'm just asking you some questions.
Who told you I was the last one to see him?
Well, your name was the last one in Alex's appointment book for that day.
Well, I've answered your questions. So if there's nothing more...
No, there isn't. Good night, Mr. Parnell. I don't believe a word he said.